Welcome to Supply Chain Now, the voice of global supply chain. Supply Chain Now focuses on the best in the business for our worldwide audience, the people, the technologies, the best practices, and today's critical issues, the challenges and opportunities. Stay tuned to hear from those making global business happen right here on Supply Chain Now.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Scott Luton with Supply Chain Now. Welcome to today's show. Today, we're continuing our coverage here at the 18th Annual Reverse Logistics Association Conference and Expo. And I'm here with my dear friend, special co-host, repeat guest extraordinaire, Cathy Roberson, who leads research for the Reverse Logistics Association. Cathy, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. We're amongst friends, and we're about to meet a new friend.
I know. This is so exciting.
It is cool. We're here in Vegas, which is the center of the returns management and reverse logistics universe, at least this week.
Yep.
And it's the first time we've been back here with RLA in about 2 years.
Really?
That's where all the movers and shakers in the returns world are this week, right?
It certainly is. Well, see, this is my first RLA conference, so I'm very excited.
Don't they know they can't have a conference without Cathy Roberson?
You would think.
Well, great to have you here. Great to have you back. Enjoyed our live stream a couple months ago, but let's talk to our new friend here. I want to welcome in our featured guest, Tal Weber, Head of Partnerships and Business Development with MySize's. Tal, how you doing?
Very well, very excited to be here. Well, for me, Katie, it's also the first RLA.
Yeah.
It's great to be in Vegas. It's always great to come to the US and great to meet new friends.
This is your first time in Vegas?
No, I've been here to many conferences in the past for different industries, from cyber security to communication to retail. Ending up in logistics, found my way in logistics right now, and RLA seems like a very exciting and up-to-date situation today.
Good. Well, we're certainly glad to have you.
Very glad. And the Mirage is an incredible venue, right?
Amazing.
Okay, so I want to dive into, before we get into the heavy lifting with our friend Tal, I want to get to know you a little better, right? And so we got some 3 quick hitter questions we're going to start with Tal. First question is, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Israel. I'm originally based out of Israel, out of Tel Aviv. Beachfront location, just a nice place somewhere in the Middle East.
Okay.
Grew up there, but actually my education I've done in the States. I went to NYIT and NYU for financial industry, done economics and finance, worked in Wall Street.
Did you?
Wow.
Had the great opportunity to work in the Twin Towers before September 11.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And after September 11, moved out of the States after 7 years, moved into other industries, other positions in more startup companies.
I'm not sure if I've rubbed elbows with someone, a Wall Streeter before. That's highfalutin stuff there, Tal.
Yes.
So what's more exciting? Supply chain, reverse logistics, MySize's, which we're going to talk about in a second, or Wall Street?
Wall Street is a lot of show. There's a lot of you're behind the screens, you're behind computers, you don't talk to people, you talk to Excel sheets. I'm more into talking to people, hands-on situations, developing, creating, dreaming, achieving. So it's more for me the place to be and finding the solutions, creating the solutions for this. And when you have this return logistics, it's really, as you say, customer-centric or the retailers. Let's try to find a way to make everybody happy.
So, and we're going to talk a lot more about that with Tal in just a minute, because he is constantly eating, sleeping, breathing personalization. And so we'll talk about MySize's in just a second. Okay, favorite sports team of all time?
Well, I grew up in Israel, so basketball, but always looked into the NBA.
Yes.
Well, I misachieved. My mother refused to send me to college in the US when I was a child and be a good professional basketball player. But still, there is a group called Maccabi Tel Aviv, famous in Israel, playing in Europe.
So that's your team?
Yes. I never understood football, American football, so it's...
How tall are you, by the way, Tal?
6'6".
6'6".
Yeah. Used to be 6'7", yes.
So I bet you were always the kids' first pick as they were choosing their basketball teams.
Yeah, something like this, yes. It's always...
Gosh, I played basketball back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, high school, yeah. So,
What position?
center.
Really?
You
Yeah.
see, all basketball players end up in logistics.
How about that? Yeah.
So, rebounding, blocking shots.
No, I was really bad at it.
She's
I was
just
al-
conducting the situation. That's it. Managing the situation.
No, I was always told, just get the ball and give it to someone else.
So I learned something new about Cathy today. I tell you, we're going to go hoop it up later on today.
There you go. That sounds fun.
All right, so one final question for you, Tal, before we get down to business. Cathy's going to take the baton in a second. Favorite movie or book?
So I thought about it, and I was trying to explain to Cathy that I'm trying to really understand what is my favorite movie, and I try to remember, and I would surprise you, my favorite movie of all times was E.T. by Steven Spielberg.
I love that movie.
I would say that this was the first choice for me for someone that comes from a distant place to understand that you can actually communicate with anybody you want, be creative, find a way to be loyal, friendly, and committed to anything, and just do whatever is needed for success. And it was driving me all the way up till today.
I love that. Tal surprised me. He's got ET socks on. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. We'll have to get a shot of that
Okay,
later.
let me see it. Let me see. I love them. I love them. Those are great.
Oh, I love it. All right, so Tal,
Okay.
it's the simple things in life. I'll tell you, it's the simple things in
Yeah.
life. Okay, so Cathy, where are we going next with Tal?
Okay, so I'm looking at the list of questions Scott gave me here. So what was a key Eureka moment last year?
So we were all surprised by this corona. We never predicted to have this corona in our life. I think that last time I was in the US before corona was February 2020. People were start wiping their tables and washing hands and walking with all these gloves. In 2021, we really understood that corona is here and corona is staying, and we see that we are working, we are living. Yes, there's a lot of casualties, there's a lot of people there dying around us, but still the world is going forward.
Yeah.
For us, it was something to actually, Eureka, to develop something new, to develop the way of people working and how to continue living, and especially understanding that online and returns and logistics is a key chain possibilities in our life. I would say that end of 2021, and we'll go back to MySize's after, we actually raised $12 million from Wall Street investors.
Congratulations.
Because people trusted MySize, looking to the future and understanding that we're here to stay, we're here to do things for everybody. And the idea is that trusting relationship between retailers, buying and returns is in a one place. So the Eureka was like, life is here, life is still going. Yeah, we will be strong, we will pass it, we'll stay safe as much as possible, but life goes on.
Right,
Yeah, exactly.
life does go on. And you know what? I found out just as Tal joined us here, Amanda is a MySize customer.
Really?
And she was raving about MySize, and I was completely oblivious. So we're going to have to learn a lot more.
Look at that. Okay, well then, tell us a little bit more about MySize.
So MySize is a public company. It's traded both on the NASDAQ and on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. The headquarters is based in Israel. We're about 50 people today, with most of the people are on the global countries, with offices in the North American countries, in Europe and the Far East. We are separated by 3 different divisions mainly, and the idea is, first of all, is the apparel, the logistics, and the DIY.
Okay.
The thing is to understand is that we developed an algorithm that actually take measurements, accurate measurement using a mobile phone. It can be a regular utilized mobile phone like any Android or iOS mobile phone, or any kind of a rack device using by the logistic companies, and actually use its sensors to measure accurately and deliver the measurements into any kind of management system, any kind of warehouse management or delivery, or any kind of dashboard, in a way that everybody send information from different places into one location, and understanding how to optimize the process.
And that in itself helps reduce returns from the get-go.
Correct. The idea is that this kind of an idea that you can actually buy 10 shirts and return 9 of them is not about how to hurt the retailer, but is actually how to actually make your profile more accurate. So the idea is in apparel that you can actually take the phone and use 4 different or 5 different measurements to actually measure your length of the arms and your hips and your chest and your legs and everything, enable for you not to hurt your privacy and understand that you don't have to use the camera when you want to buy lingerie or swimsuit or kids wear, and actually find the right profile for you and customize it into any kind of size chart.
Yeah.
The idea is also about measurement for logistics. Not everything is a one-size package. Not every warehouse have a big scanning machine.
It'd be a lot easier if it was.
Yeah.
Yes,
it
for
would.
pallets, for bags, for any kind of, for the customer at home, for the driver, for optimizing the weight, to optimize the delivery, to how to build the best container, how to actually make everything in a more optimized way. So we are actually coming to say, let's optimize and let's measure in a matter of seconds, a very accurate way to get dim weights, to get geolocations, to get everything, starting from the customer, through the professional employees, all the way to the warehouse and deliveries. And of course, for the DIY as well. How
And
about
DIY, do it yourself?
do it yourself?
Yeah, just to
How
clarify.
about that you're sitting at home, there is a corona, and you want to paint a wall? How many balls of paint do you need to measure a wall? Measure your wall and understand it. Measure a wall and understand which fair part of furniture from the catalog of IKEA is fitting to this wall. So you can do everything by actually starting from a measurement, by the mobile phone, and then connecting to any kind of a catalog outside of any kind of company.
Interesting.
That is so cool.
It is cool. Now, I love your point about it will help drive less returns, right?
Exactly. You
Yes.
want to prevent, I mean, really, you want to try to prevent returns from ever happening.
Right.
That's kind of
Yeah,
hard
instead
to
of
do,
putting
but
the Band-Aid on and go to root cause.
yeah, figure out what the problem is. And
Right.
that is one of the biggest
But also when
problems.
you're managing the return already, the customer not always returning the package as it was originally.
Yep.
And when you want to save on the returns, save on the logistics, it's not always what is the weight of the package, but what is the size of the package.
Right.
Yes.
Because do you need a big box to measure in the truck, or you need a small box for something that weighs long? So when a retailer is getting the return, he's suffering a lot of expenses. He wants to less about it. He wants to prefer sustainability. He wants to be more green. He needs to measure and get dimension in the right place and able to do it better.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because those, the dim sizes, dim weights, dim sizes, I mean, the UPSs, the FedExes, they charge based on the size of the boxes
Correct.
and the weight. So,
Correct. It's not anymore only the distance and the weight, but also the size of the package.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, so now we have a good understanding of what MySize does, and a raving fan over there, Amanda Luton. What do you do with MySize? What's your,
She's like, I don't hear you.
So I always believe that the biggest growth engine of a company is their partners. And it can be 3PL companies, it can be system integrators, it can be WMS systems, delivery systems. I'm actually developing the partnerships globally. I'm working global countries, working with different companies of research, integration, consulting, working with the WMS companies that actually offer their customers to use the measurement systems and actually developing the idea inside.
okay,
So for me, business development is the right way to do.
okay. I love how you started with that, where a company's growth starts with its partners. Seems like you're real passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you asked before about working Wall Street or logistics, the working with the people, creating together is for me the biggest part.
I love that. I love that. I heard said the other day, Monica Trilsch with N4 was on the live stream with us, and she said that, and I'm gonna loosely quote her, people have been the salvation of global supply chain throughout the pandemic, not the technology. And that's such a wonderful point, because that's my favorite part. People across global supply chains working together to get the customer exactly what they want, when they want it, and at the price that they're wanting to pay for it. Okay, so Cathy, before we're going to change gears with Tal in a second, but how cool is this MySize story? And I appreciate you know, as we got together pre-show, we're like, we got to get Tal on and talk about
Oh my gosh,
MySize.
yeah, because when I heard that MySize was coming, yeah, here I am doing a quick search on the company. It's fascinating.
Right.
What you're doing is fascinating. And it's one of these, well, duh, why hasn't anyone done this sooner? I
Right.
mean, it makes sense. Whereas there's so many other companies, you're scratching your head going, what? But it really is, it's needed.
It's a cool story.
It really is a very cool story.
And congrats on the successful raise last year. That's wonderful.
Definitely.
Okay, so I want to broaden out our conversation, right? Yes, this is the center of the universe when it comes to returns and reverse logistics. I love your I think our listeners and consumers in general have got to know we've got to get these returns down. It's awesome that all these retailers.
I'm sorry.
That microphone just don't.
Yeah,
Well,
and I have little ears,
Yes.
so I'm sorry.
No, all good, all good. Hollywood's not going to call us because our mics isn't working.
I don't know.
Is that
They
better?
might. I think so.
Is that good?
I think so.
All right. So to our listeners, we're just making sure. This is the first
sorry.
interview. All good. This first interview of I think 9 or 10 shows we have here in Vegas, which again, the center of returns and reverse logistics. But I want to broaden out the conversation because there's a ton of things going on, global business, global supply chain. What's an item or two that's really on your radar right now when we talk more about global business?
So there is two main things that are happening now, 2022, and looking into the future. One is customer-centric. How do you involve the customer in all the process? It's not just coming and taking a package, it's how to actually involve the customer, from listening to the customer, from sending an instant app to the customer at home and say, just measure your package one time. You don't have to download anything, just measure
It's easy,
it.
simple and easy.
Make it easy, 5 seconds, you just send us the measurement, and then we will send you pick it up. Any kind of price proposal if needed to do, any kind of information of how to actually make the return to be an exchange and not to be just a loss for the retailers itself. Mm-hmm. And the idea is how to actually develop an omni-channel, because the idea is when you come and you create your own profile, and when you return, you can actually return and exchange for something else. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to develop the omni-channel. There's a lot of solutions, but there is nothing that is doing measurement.
Yeah.
There's nothing that takes like online and in-store in the same position. It doesn't have to be only like a package in logistics. It can be that you want to return a shirt, you will come to a shop, you will actually scan your profile, and then you will get a recommendation based on your history of what you want to do. Based on this, you don't want to spend a lot of time in the shop today, so the system will already give you all the opportunities based on your profile, on what you're doing.
And what we want to do, what the options and the channels that we want to spend
and how do you want to spend it?
I
And
think,
then the retailer doesn't have to be that you return everything, but you can actually come to a shop and return something and take something in exchange, or measure it and then deliver it in a different place. Because if they have like the lockers that you can deliver in a different way, how do I know how your package can fit into which one of the lockers? How do I actually optimize? Because you as the customer, you want to receive a better service.
Right.
So you also need to help us when you return the package and able to get the better service.
Okay.
So one of the things is the customer-centric solutions. The second part is developing the omni-channel solution on all parts of the logistics.
All right, so clearly omni-channel is on his mind, right?
Yeah,
Kathy, what else did you hear there?
Well, I mean, omni-channel, that's huge. And I think with the pandemic, it just kick-started something that was slowly happening.
Yep.
It really wasn't going very quickly. And then all of a sudden, whoops, we need to invest heavily in the whole omni-channel strategy.
Right.
And I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff out there.
Agreed.
In that, a lot of investments.
As Scott always said before, personalization.
Yeah, it is.
How do you actually personalize this delivery? How do you personalize the return?
Right.
Exactly.
It's all synergy one another.
Personalization, options. I know that's something I've been beating the drum over is consumers want options from, all kind of options.
Well, like you just said, consumers don't just want to know, just don't want options on how to purchase. They want options on how to return, right? So let's also, I want you to break out your crystal ball here today. We're going to talk about a big, bold prediction, Tal, that you might have for 2022. What can our listeners expect for the rest of the year? What's one thing?
Maybe it doesn't sound so optimistic, but Corona is staying here. Medicine is growing. Biotech is growing. We are going to stay safe. We're going to be protected.
But
There
you're
are a
saying
lot
we
of-
got to learn to live with it.
Yes, learn to live with this. And again, develop around it. I am predicting that all this, and we said before, personalization and omnichannel is going to grow. We're going to go back to sports. We're going to go back to the theaters. We're going to go back to see the movies. We're going to go back spending time together. We're going to be protected in a way. But also, traveling. I'm traveling worldwide, and I see that I'm healthy, I'm good,
Yep.
I'm acting according to the rules.
Right.
And according to this, you can go and buy, and you can return. You can do things for your own, you can do things for the retailer, you can do things for the world, you can optimize deliveries, you can optimize the transportation, you can be more on sustainability, you can be more green. The idea for us is for customers to be more involved in the process, and for the retailer and the logistic companies to be more open to customer needs.
Customer centric.
Yeah.
Customer centric. Name of the game in
agree.
2022 for sure. All right. So I want to talk, Cathy, about RLA.
Wait a minute. My
What did I
crystal
forget?
ball.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Please go right ahead. Yeah.
So, returns. It
Returns.
really is going to be, this is the year of the returns.
The year of the returns.
Year of
Felicia
return-
Prisbilla. How about that? A year of the returns. Felicia's with us here in Vegas, center of the universe.
That's right.
So year of the returns. What?
Well, yeah, I mean, look around here. We've got a record crowd.
Yep.
Okay.
Over 600 people, I
I
think, this year. Right?
know. Our membership is the highest it's been. So a lot of interest in reverse logistics. Returns are climbing higher
Right.
and higher.
Investment,
because
investment, yeah.
So really, the focus for a lot of retailers, a lot of manufacturers, a lot of businesses is going to be on returns.
Right.
How are we going to reduce those costs? And and
We got to solve the problem, right?
yeah,
It's a
gotta-
tidal wave
it's a
of
huge
returns.
problem, and it's always been swept underneath that
Right.
carpet.
That is right.
The redheaded stepchild.
That, and as Tony likes to say, the dark
The
side,
dark side.
right, of global supply chain.
Exactly.
All right. So thank you. I am so glad you had a chance. That was good stuff, wasn't it, Tal?
No, for sure, for sure.
I mean, Cathy's a repeat guest for big reasons here. I love it. And by the way, if you're not following Cathy on Twitter, across social, but certainly on Twitter, you're missing out. I love your analyst calls. That's the best information. It's like the solid gold of supply chain. What is your, by the way, what's your Twitter handle?
CM Roberson 06.
CM, and we're going to have that on the show notes. So it's one click away. All right. Little sidebar there. Let's get back to Tal. So Tal, let's make sure. Well, you know what? We're going to give folks a chance to connect with you, but I got one final billion-dollar question for you. When is E.T. the sequel coming out? Any big bold guesses there? It hasn't yet, right?
I think only
not.
Cathy with the research can answer this.
I'll get
I
back to
agree.
y'all on
All
that.
right. Awesome.
We're looking for E.T. and Back to the Future number 6, 7. So
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
All right. So how can folks connect with you and MySize's, Tal?
So best idea is to go to our website, which is mysize.com, mysizeid.com. You can look up any kind of URL, my size, box size, all on the Google. Everything. We have a lot of movies on YouTube. You can see movies about box size. You can see movies about my size. You can see anything that all information needed. And of course, Tal Weber, TALWEBER. You can look me up in LinkedIn. Always happy to make new connections. And I'm sure that in any place we can actually make something happening for any entity and for anybody on this return logistics and in a good manner of doing business globally.
I love it. I love it. MySizeID.com, right?
Correct.
Okay. Cathy, I want to make sure folks when I connect with you, but let's talk about this survey. Have you checked out this survey that Cathy and RLA put out once a quarter? Have you
Of
checked it out
course,
yet,
yes.
Tal? Okay. Tell us.
No, you haven't.
So
He
tell.
will, though.
She just kicks me now.
Yeah, but he will.
So,
Right away, right now.
so we need more input,
Yes.
right? Because it's a fairly new survey. Tell us about it.
Okay, so the RLA does a quarterly survey on returns. So we're measuring the cost of returns and the volume of returns.
Okay.
And we're asking folks what it looks like today, what do they expect it to be the next quarter.
Yep.
So with this data, we're establishing an index to measure. And the commentary alone from these surveys is phenomenal. It's been so helpful, so appreciative of everyone that has been answering these surveys. It's just 4 little questions,
Yes.
that's all.
I love simple surveys.
Oh, I do too. And we're on our second one. We just finished the second one. I haven't written up the results yet, but I can tell you right off the bat, the problem is transportation cost. Duh. Okay?
Yep.
But I want to tell you one detail for your research.
Okay, please do.
Companies, for example, like Levi's, has reduced returns by almost 50%
Wow.
by using MySize's platform.
Really?
And when it's coming to dim weight and coming to area understanding how to optimize your deliveries, you are solving a lot of the transportation costs and deliveries because you can lower the number of transportations and the sustainability and donate to the world by less pollution with this transportation and bring everybody happy in this direction.
See, that's why you need to be paying attention to the survey, so we can have valuable commentary like that,
That is right.
analysis and stuff. That's fantastic.
Sure is.
It's a good point.
Agreed. Sharing these best practices, sharing these observations, these data points, beyond out in industry.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the RLA,
Right.
is that it is member-driven.
Right. Customer centric.
Yes, very. That's what I love about it.
I do too. And they got great people, Cathy and Tony and Felicia and many
Oh gosh,
others.
yeah, it's a great group.
It is. All right, so Tal, we know how folks can connect with Tal. And again, MySizeID.com. Cathy, how can folks connect with you?
Well, Twitter.
Okay.
And on LinkedIn. Just look me up, Cathy Roberson, or my company, which is Logistics Trends and Insights.
Yep.
I have a company page. Website's still not there.
It's coming.
It's coming. One of these days. I haven't had time. But anyway, that's really the best way. Or you could always email me, Cathy@rla.org.
Just that easy.
Yeah.
And you put out, I don't know if I think it's once a week on Substack.
Yes,
right?
I do. Yeah.
So they can check that out by emailing you.
Yeah, except I missed last week, but that's okay.
That's okay. That's all right. There's a time for everything.
But yeah, I do write a long, an extended blog post on
Yes.
Substack.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Big thanks to our new
Thank
best
you.
friend, Tal Weber, and the MySize team, which is on the move for sure.
Definitely.
Big thanks to one of our favorites, big friend of the show, Cathy Roberson. Make sure y'all connect with Cathy and Tal. And folks, stay tuned for more coverage here at the center of the universe for all things returns, reverse logistics, you name it, right here at the 18th Annual RLA Conference and Expo, right? It's an expo. Is there like a circus expo roller coaster or something somewhere?
No, but I think it's just a lot of people exhibiting.
Hey, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time on Supply Chain Now. Scott Luton signing off for now, challenging you, do good, give forward, and be the change. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for being a part of our Supply Chain Now community. Check out all of our programming at supplychainnow.com and make sure you subscribe to Supply Chain Now anywhere you listen to podcasts. And follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next time on Supply Chain Now.